At my nephew's graduation party, I surprised my son with his first car. My brother's kids took the keys, slammed it into the fence, and everyone laughed. My brother said, maybe this will teach him he's not better than everyone. I just smiled, canceled the transfer, and the whole patio went silent. My son Carl had just turned 16. He was quiet, careful, and obsessed with fixing things. Engines, brakes, anything mechanical. If something stopped working, Carl wanted to know why. He had been saving for a car for over a year, working weekends and picking up extra shifts whenever he could. He didn't spend on anything, just saved. I told him to keep his money and let me handle the rest when the time came. I'd been picking up weekend shifts, cutting expenses, and saving every extra dollar. I found a used car that was reliable. Nothing flashy, but solid. The party was at my parents' house because my nephews were graduating 8th grade. My brother Ricky made sure everyone knew it. Balloons on the fence, a cake with their faces printed on it, a rented bounce house in the yard. His kids ran around throwing things, grabbing whatever they wanted while Ricky laughed like it was harmless. Carl stayed close to me, holding the envelope with the keys and paperwork inside. He had been asking questions all week about insurance and maintenance. Before lunch, one of Ricky's kids grabbed the keys off the table and started swinging them around. Carl said, please don't, those are mine. Ricky looked over and shrugged, then don't leave them out. My mother laughed and said, he's always been too serious. Carl took the keys back and sat by himself near the porch steps. After everyone ate, my parents told my nephews to open gifts. They got cash, sneakers, gaming chairs, and new phones from Ricky. Everyone clapped like they'd earned something. Then my mother looked at me and said, don't you have something for Carl too? Or are we only celebrating one kid today? She said it with that same tone. I handed Carl the envelope. His hands shook when he opened it. Inside were the keys, the signed title, and a note I'd written that said, take care of it and it'll take care of you. Carl looked up at me. Dad, you actually bought it? Every penny, I said. His face changed. Not loud excitement, something deeper. He hugged me so hard the chair scraped behind me. Can we see it? He asked. We walked outside. The car was parked by the curb. Clean, full tank, ready. Carl just stood there staring at it. Ricky followed behind us. His smile was gone. One of my nephews leaned against the hood like it was already his. This is what you got? He said. It's nothing special. One of Ricky's kids snatched the keys out of Carl's hand. Carl reached for them, but another grabbed them first and held them up. Relax, he said. Let's see if it even runs right. Give them back, Carl said. Ricky didn't move. My father chuckled. Boys mess around. Let him toughen up. One of them got into the driver's seat. The engine started. The others piled in, laughing. Carl froze. Stop, I said. Ricky leaned against the porch. They're just testing it. The car jerked forward too fast, tires spinning on the gravel, then slammed straight into the wooden fence at the edge of the yard. The sound cracked through everything. The hood bent. The headlight shattered. For a second, it was quiet. Then the laughter started. Ricky laughed first. My parents followed. Maybe this will teach him he's not better than everyone, Ricky said. Carl stood there shaking, staring at the front of the car like he couldn't process it. I walked over and looked at the damage. It wasn't small. This wasn't something you just fix. I turned back to Ricky. He shrugged. It's just a car. My mother covered her mouth, laughing. My father shook his head. You made a big show of it. What did you expect? Carl's eyes were red, but he didn't cry. He just stood there. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and canceled the scheduled payment for my nephew's graduation gift. Ricky knew exactly what it was. I had promised to help him cover a private league deposit, $2,000 due Monday. I smiled and put my phone back in my pocket. The patio went quiet. Ricky's face changed first, then my mother's. What did you just do? She asked. Close my wallet, I said. Later in the kitchen, Mom cornered me. You embarrassed your brother. His kids wrecked Carl's car, and you ruined their chance over an accident? Ricky walked in behind her. You're really going to punish my sons because yours can't take a joke? I looked at him. You let them take the keys. Ricky shrugged. Fix the car. They destroyed it. Buy another one. My father came in last. Family doesn't keep score. That almost made me laugh because I had never kept score. I had just paid. Ricky's repairs, Mom's bills, Dad's shortages, fees. I went home that night and opened every bank statement. I made a spreadsheet, dates, amounts, excuses. Temporary loan, just until Friday. I'll pay you back. The total was $31,480. I sat there staring at it while Carl sat in his room, silent. The next morning, Mom called. Ricky is still short. Don't make this ugly. No, you promised. Before yesterday, Carl got his car. They should get their chance too. Carl earned his car. They destroyed it. She hung up. 2 days later, I got an alert from my credit card. A charge I didn't make. Ricky had used the emergency card I'd given Mom years ago. I called her. Why is there a charge? He needed it. That wasn't for that. It's family. That night, I canceled the card, disputed the charge, and removed her access. Then I changed the locks on the storage unit Ricky had been using. Inside were things he claimed he didn't own. I sent him one message. 7 days. He called. I didn't answer. Meanwhile, I had the car assessed. It was worse than it looked. Not worth repairing. I started saving again. Faster this time. Carl didn't ask for anything. That made it worse. A few weeks later, I found another car. Better. Safer. I didn't tell anyone. When Carl saw it, he didn't react the same way. He just nodded once. I'll take care of it, he said. Ricky didn't believe I would really stop helping. He believed I'd cool down, apologize, and go back to covering things like always. Then his landlord called me. Ricky had listed me as his backup payer without telling me. Same with a few other bills. Same pattern. When they called, I told the truth. I am not responsible for his payments. I did not agree to guarantee anything. The person on the phone paused. He listed you as a financial reference. Then he lied. 2 weeks later, Ricky showed up at my house, pounding on the door while Carl was inside. You're making me look like a criminal, he yelled. I opened the door but didn't step outside. You did that yourself. He shoved a folded paper toward me. Notices, overdue balances, deadlines. Fix it, he said. Call them and say it was a misunderstanding. I looked at the paper, then back at him. Was it? His face changed. You think your kid is better than everyone because he got a car? No, I said. I think he deserved better than what you did to him. That made him step closer, voice louder. It was an accident. You let them take the keys, I said. He didn't answer that. He just stood there, breathing hard, waiting for me to back down. I didn't. I closed the door. Then my mother came later that day, quieter, holding a folder. Your brother is drowning, she said. He's been drowning for years, I said. I was covering it. You're tearing this family apart. No, I said. I stopped paying to keep it together. She pushed the folder toward me. Bills, notices, things I'd seen before, just with different dates. Then I saw something new. My name listed listed on documents I never signed. I flipped through them slowly. Where did these come from? She didn't answer directly. He needed help. I took pictures of everything. Then I made a few calls. Not emotional, not angry, just clear. I told them I had not authorized anything, that I was not responsible, that my name had been used without permission. I didn't add anything extra. I didn't exaggerate. I just stopped protecting them. By the end of the month, things started closing in. Payments were demanded in full. Accounts tightened. Options disappeared. Ricky's situation unraveled faster without someone smoothing it over. My father called, angry. Do you know what you've done? I answered questions, I said. Now everything's falling apart, he snapped. It was already falling apart, I said. I just stopped holding it up. That didn't calm him down. Nothing would have. A few days later, Ricky's wife called me. Her voice was different. He told me you owed him money, she said. I sent her everything. The transfers, the amounts, the timeline. Every time I had stepped in, there was a long silence on the other end. He said you never helped, she said quietly. After that, things moved on their own. Arguments happened that I wasn't part of. Stories started falling apart without me saying anything. My father tried calling again. Said I made them look bad. I told him they did that themselves. He said I was too sensitive. I hung up. Weeks later, Ricky showed up again, but this time he didn't yell. You ruined everything, he said. I looked at him. No, I said. I just stopped fixing everything.